Hello, my name is Devin Hunter and you're watching Modern Witch. Today we're going to talk about building a daily practice the easy way. So this is something that a lot of us struggle with, and the more we struggle with it, the harder it seems to become. So if you were looking for an in-depth look at building a daily practice, a weekly practice, a monthly practice, and a yearly practice, you might want to check out my book, The Witch's Book of Mysteries, which is available now pretty much anywhere books are sold. You should buy my book, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, eBay, from my website, modernwitch.com, wherever, just buy my book. Alright, so there's a really easy, simple way of going about this whole thing. All you need is ideally an hour, and it's always a good thing to start in the morning, but at the very least 30 minutes. And we say to start in the morning because studies have proven that this sort of thing works better when we do it in the morning, and we get more benefits out of it throughout our day. So it's easier to start your day in a good frequency than it is to struggle throughout the day and then get to the end of your day and try to meet that frequency. You're just going to go to bed and have to reset in the morning anyway. So we highly recommend, pretty much every spiritual teacher I've ever met, that if it's possible, you do your daily practice in the morning. Now, I say also take an hour, but if you have to, just take 30 minutes. And if you're somebody who has never had a daily practice, or the idea of a daily practice is overwhelming to you, then I recommend just starting with 30 minutes. And what we're going to do is divide up our little formula equally amongst the time that we've allotted for our daily practice. So what exactly is a daily practice? A daily practice is the set of rituals and little things that we do each day that help us further our goals spiritually. And so when we think of ourselves as witches, a lot of our goals tend to be communicating with spirits, working for manifestations of some kind, developing our psychic abilities. These are all things that we tend to do, including developing a relationship with our deities. And if we have an effective daily practice, it'll allow us to do all of these things. So I promised you we would do this the easy way, and there's nothing easier than remembering the following acronym. It's really simple, and if you do forget it, well, we got a problem. The secret to an effective daily practice is in the magic formula. All right, let's take a look. M is for meditation. This is something that a lot of us know how to do, at least initially, and it either falls out of our practice or it becomes something that we really dive into and we become masters of. And it doesn't really matter what level or stage you are in your psychic development, your spiritual development, or your practice as a meditator. We are always being invited to show up to the plate. And so when it comes to meditation, it can get a little overwhelming because there's a lot that happens during meditation, and there's a lot of expectations of what meditation should be. I am not a fan of the idea of clearing your mind of all thought. You're not a Zen Buddhist, you don't have to do that. It is a goal I think a lot of meditators bring into their practice. I think it's really great. I've done it, it's a really trippy thing to do, but you know, as far as a daily thing, it takes time, and we don't always get to fit that type of work into our daily practice. So meditation should be something, in my opinion, especially if we're relating it to a daily practice, that is related to something you're going through or something that you're working on right now at this stage in your life. Meditation is a wonderful tool that, if we use in the right way, can really take us far in our craft. There's an old saying, and that is that when we are praying, we are talking to God, and when we meditate, God is talking to us. And so think of, if you're going to do anything else in your meditation, just think of that. Think of being an observer of your thoughts, of what's going on with your emotions, with your body. And if you can just take a few minutes each day to do that, you will take yourself further. Now, let's say you want more than just checking in with yourself and checking in with your thoughts and your emotions. Then there's other things you can do. You can follow guided meditations, which I'm a giant fan of, and if you are interested in links to guided meditations from some of my favorite artists, just check the information below. It's all in the description. Another thing I might add when it comes to meditation is that it's something that we often do without knowing that we're doing it. And so when we kind of find ourselves lost in thought or even daydreaming, we're entering a meditative state. And the goal with our daily practice is to put that energy into use, to give it direction. And so if you're somebody who is a dreamer, if you're a creator, then meditation can often be the breeding ground for a lot of the work that you do. All right, the next one, A. A stands for affirmation. And affirmations are something that a lot of us in the occult kind of poo-poo and we kind of roll our eyes at because it's really kind of came into the world via the New Age scene. And if you're a hardcore occultist, you don't always want to go with the New Age scene stuff. But the truth of the matter is, affirmations are phenomenal, especially if you are developing your witch power and you are developing yourself as a practicing witch. And so when we think of affirmations, it's, again, it can be kind of silly and we can feel kind of silly doing them, but that's kind of at least part of the point, is to put yourself at a place where, if you're saying, I am capable of creating great success and that's uncomfortable for you, then you need to take a look at that, right? And so affirmations give us the ability to do that. And just like anything, they help us take ourselves to the precipice of our limits. And there we can decide if we're going to push or if we're just going to hold the line. And just like with any practice, whether it's like yoga or maybe you're a dancer or you do anything with your body, we know that we have to take ourselves to the limit and then just kind of hold and see what can happen. And often what happens is, in a day or two, we can go deeper into that stretch, we can go deeper into the move, and meditation works just like that. So baby steps are great. And if you're somebody who gets overwhelmed by meditations, then you definitely should check out guided meditations. Great things to add. Okay. G stands for grounding. Grounding is something that we all know how to do, but we often don't stop to do it. And the truth of the matter is, it's one of the most important things you can do for your own etheric health. And what I mean by that is, your aura and your energy body, no matter how it's configured, is constantly going through and purifying your vibration. It is cleansing the toxins and the negativity that you tend to pick up or that you create for yourself. And when we ground, we are essentially able to dump that energy and remove it from our own body. And that's an important thing to do, especially if you're psychically sensitive, and it doesn't matter how protected you are or how warded up you could possibly be, you still need to dump the negative energy, and chances are you're creating enough for yourself. It's a thing that humans just like to do. In addition to that, grounding helps us to be in the moment, and this is an incredibly important thing as well. When we do our invocations and we're saying, hail to the guardian of whatever, be here now, we're telling these spirits and these beings to show up and be present. But we haven't commanded ourselves to do that. We haven't demanded that of ourselves. And so grounding does that for us. It allows us to lean in on the practice of grounding and psychic awareness, and not only just dump the energy like we were talking about before, but also connect to the things that are happening in the moment around us. And that is absolutely essential for effective spellcraft and ritual craft. Next is I. I stands for inquire. And when we inquire, we are essentially using some form of divination to check in with things. And this can be anything from what you're working on with your spiritual practice to something more intense, like let's say you're worried about your partner or something that's going on with your kid. This is the time to ask those questions. Instead of just letting it just be on your head and cause stress and worry and concern, look into it and see what the cards have to say. See what your spirits have to say in response. It's also a good time to check in on things that you're working on for like your career. What do I need to be aware of? What should I be maybe adjusting in my daily habits when it comes to fellow coworkers? These are all things that you can ask the cards. And if you get a little bit of information, chances are you can respond to things differently as they come up, and it just generally puts you in a better place and in a stronger place of power. Last is C. And C, of course, stands for check-in. And check-in, when we say that, we're talking about checking in with your spirits, checking in with the gods and the deities that you work with. every single day we need to be checking in with them. A lot of what people don't understand about the relationships with the divine is that there's a lot of quote-unquote husbandry that goes on with the gods, which means that you are not just a steward to their message and their work here on the planet, but you're also in a position of cultivating it and making sure that they have what they need in order to actually manifest in this plane and to do the work that they need to do. So it's this two-way kind of street. And when we check in, we are essentially making sure that we're asking our partner, our magical partner, our soul partner, our life partner, your matron, patron, however it is that you look at it, we're checking in with them and making sure that we're doing everything that we need to be doing, but also that they know that we are thinking of them and that we are tuned in. And it doesn't mean that every day you have to do an offering or any of those other things, but at the very least you should walk up to your altar and check in with your spirits. Say hello, ask them if they need anything, maybe light some incense if possible. That's the least we can do on a daily basis. Alright, that's it for this video. I will be back with more in just a few, short moments. But in the meantime, if you need more Modern Witch or you're curious about my books, you can check out modernwitch.com. And there you can find everything from blogs that I've written to blogs that our other creators have written, content like playlists and just about, there's so many things. Go check out modernwitch.com. We've got it all there, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Oh, and of course, don't forget, click the like button and the subscribe button, and then you won't have to worry about ever finding my pretty face again. I'll just pop right up in your feed.